What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about the things I don't like and the things I disagree and the things I hate about the military, or at least the army in general. So me, I am in the army. I am in the military. I've been in it for about 2 years. So let's get to it. So don't get me wrong. I love being in the army. I love being in the military because, in my opinion, it has really good benefits and it can really, at least for me, it really kind of changed me in a person in a good way where like I develop a lot of mental toughness and a lot of mental strength as well. And I've also learned a lot of valuable lessons when it comes to being honest. And I've learned how to become more independent as well because the military, it gave me the opportunity to be more independent and to learn how to like pretty much think for myself and to make like grown adult decisions. And I learned a lot about like finances, about like being my own person, growing up, being independent, and relying on myself and making important decisions every day so I can better my future, right? But so I thank the military for that, and the military, it gave me the opportunity to get out of my situation from my abusive, toxic family situation. And not only that, but before I enlisted, when I was a civilian, it was hard for me to find a stable job where I can make stable income. Being military, I'm able to make stable income. You know what I'm saying? And it gives me the opportunity to build good credit and to make something out of myself once I get out. Um, but the things I don't like about the military, and also one of the cool things too, like I get to meet new people, so I interact with different types of people, so I get to expand my horizons. But and there are pros and cons to everything. But one of the things I really can't stand, what I hate about the military at times is toxic leadership. There are times where like there are a lot of toxic leadership or like just toxic higher ups. And what sucks is that like when you're lower enlisted, when you're like a private, and when you're dealing with like toxic NCOs and stuff like that, or toxic leaderships who have a higher rank in you, I see it as a lot where like they'll kind of abuse their power, or like they won't give as much information to help other lower enlisted out, or like I just seen it a lot. And the military or the army, they're known for toxic, or the military in general, it's known for toxic leadership. I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people act the way they are, but either they seem very disrespectful or they're not very informative, or like they just don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen this a lot where like they'll take advantage of their position of power. Now, and sucks too because like there are times where like you gotta, what's so hard about the military is that like it's like you gotta keep it like not be like a pushover or kiss ass, but more so like you're you kind of it's like you're meant to like how do I word this, like you're supposed to keep your mouth shut, not all the time, but like you're supposed to like present yourself at a certain way where like you're supposed to be respectful to your higher ups, to your superiors, right? The thing is, there are times where like I've dealt with a lot of disrespect and other people too, and there are times where we have to keep our mouth shut because if we do, it's gonna get out of hand. And like so that was a hard adjustment for me because before I enlisted, while I was a civilian, it was so easy for me to like cuss people out, to stand up for myself, and to set boundaries, and to speak my mind more. But in the military, is like I can't be as much, I can't be as expressive. You know what I'm saying? So, but it isn't too bad where there's too much toxic leadership, but there are some toxic people in there who do abuse their power without a doubt. Like me, I've experienced a, being around a toxic leader who's like he'll take advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? So like what he'll do is that he's he's very manipulative. So like he'll constantly ask me for money. He'll constantly ask me to pay him like a $3,000 loan, and then he'll have me like, and then he'll kind of trick me into saying like, oh, if I give him $3,000, he's gonna put it into like into his investment, so like we could build money together. And then what I realized is that like whenever I'll give him stuff, he'll never give it back to me, or like he'll offer me like a PS5 for like 650 when in for a used one, for his used one, and like there's other PS5s for like under 600 and shit. And that's when I realized, yeah, he's actually using me for money, and this guy is very like manipulative and stuff, right? So, and that kind of broke my heart because like it just sucks knowing that like when you put your trust into someone and knowing that like they're manipulative or like they'll use narcissism or like they'll gaslight you and shit and they'll make you think you're crazy. It sucks, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things about the military. Like, just like the real world, there's a lot of dumbass people who don't think, who don't have common sense, who are very selfish, and there are people like that. You know what I'm saying? So in the military, it's been a struggle for me. I mean, I've never gone to trouble like that or anything like that, but there are times where like it's so hard to keep your composure at times because you're forced to like in the civilian, like you could talk as much shit, you could like defend yourself as much. At least for me, other people may be different. Maybe other people act the same, but for me, it's like I have to bite my tongue in a lot, or like I have to like keep my composure a lot, even though deep down I want to cuss certain people out because I don't agree with how they talk, I don't agree with how they operate. So that's one of the hardest things about the military, you know. But it's how it is. But but moral of this video, is more so it's always important to set boundaries. It's always important to like um spot manipulation. Never ignore your intuition. If you think something's off, if you think someone's off, if you think they're trying to deceive you in some way, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to defend yourself because people are like that. What the military taught me is that like even though people may appear like good or like they may appear they're in a certain position like a boss or a manager or like a certain leadership put position, you just never know what their intentions are. You just never know what they're capable of doing. So it's always good to spot energy. It's always good to ask questions. And if they're doing something where you don't agree with, it's always okay to say no. It's always okay to stand up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things the military taught me. But it does get annoying where like there's a lot of like toxic people. Like there's a lot of toxicity or like they'll just leaders will abuse their power a lot. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, but just some of them. And I've come across a couple of toxic leadership before, so you gotta be mindful. And at times they're lazy, or like they don't care about their job, or like they don't do a good job of like teaching their soldiers or teaching their lower enlisted on how to do the job properly, and that's a huge issue. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep all the information and knowledge to themselves so they can get ahead. This is how it is, but more so like, but yeah, but that's been my experience. I would go more into detail, but I really had this one leadership. I'm not around him now, thank God, but like I noticed who constantly asked me for money, and I thought he was genuine until I realized he kept asking me for money. He kept making trades with me for money, and he'll never give my stuff back, or like he'll borrow stuff from me and he'll never give it back. Always gotta be the type of person where I gotta remind him to give my stuff back, or to, hey, remember I paid you $650 for a PS5. You're supposed to give me the PS5, and like it's been like weeks or months, and he still haven't given it to me. So I've noticed he's trying to test my boundaries to see what he could get away with, and that shit really pissed me off. And it's sad how like I gotta set boundaries, and I gotta confront him on what he's doing is not right, and I need my money back. So this is what I mean. Where like this world is full of dumbass people, or not too many. And I still struggle with this. I've So with me, I think that people have the same heart as me. People have the same mindset and self-awareness. It's not even about self-awareness. It's more so like basic common sense. You don't use people like that. You don't fucking take advantage of people like that. But what it taught me, the military taught me, is that like there are people like that. Again, the military is not bad or anything. There are some toxic, just like the real world. There are, as much as there are good people, there are bad people. And same thing with the military. As much as there are good people in the military, there's bad people. So you gotta be careful. And this video doesn't have to apply just because you're in the military. If you're not, even if you're not in the military, like just apply it to real life, because there are people like that. It could be family members, friends, so-called friends, people like that who are like they appear one way, but behind closed doors they're actually snakes, and they're manipulative, and they'll keep trying you, or they keep testing your boundaries. You know, and people really test your boundaries. People are that shitty. You know what I'm saying? But lucky with me, I study a lot of spirituality. I have a lot of awareness, and I can spot that shit from a mile away now. I just got to learn how to like stand up for myself, and you know what I'm saying. But that's one of the hardest things about to be in the military, is that like sometimes, because it's such a professional setting, so it's like you gotta, you know what I'm saying. But I don't know, man. But at least for me, some people may be different. For me, when I was civilian, it's easy for me to set boundaries, but you know, but there are pros and cons to everything. So moral of the story: be careful. Be careful when you're around people. Set boundaries, because people, they're just, especially in this timeline we're in, people are just going crazy. people have demons controlling them because they're at such a low vibration and like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And you gotta be careful. There's a lot of spiritual warfare and people like that. But that's all I gotta say. Have a good one. Peace.